In the last lecture, we have studied what is measure of dispersion, what it means, and what are the characteristics of good measure of dispersion. In today's lecture, we will be learning what are the different methods of finding the measure of dispersion. That's how to calculate the dispersion. In the last lecture, we have done the various measure of dispersions, that is a range, quartile deviation, we call that as a semi-interquartile range, mean deviation, and standard deviation. Now we will be having examples based on the range, how to find out the range, how to find out the mean deviation, quartile deviation, and standard deviation. So let us start with the first thing, that is the range. Now, when it comes to range, it is a absolute measure. There are two types of measure of the dispersion. One is called as absolute measure of dispersion, and other is called as a relative measure of dispersion. When the unit of the quantities which are being measured remains the same, then we say that is absolute. And when there is no unit, that means unit gets cancelled. The same unit in the numerator, same unit in the denominator. That is called as a relative measure. That is nothing but the ratio of the same unit. So in that case, there will not be any unit in the answer. It will become the ratio. That is called as a relative measure. So range, which is a absolute measure of dispersion, we call that as an absolute measure of range. Here, what to do? Whatever the maximum value is given in the observation, we need to find out that first, and we need to find out which one is the minimum value in the given observation. We have to take the difference, that is maximum value minus minimum value will give you the range. Now, in other words, if we replace maximum value by largest value and minimum value by the smallest value, the formula becomes largest value minus the smallest value. In symbolic form, we write that as a L minus S. Let us take an example. Suppose you have been given the numbers like 2, 3, 5, 1, 7, 9, 11. Now, which one is the smallest number in this series? That is 1. So we will write a smallest number that is equal to 1, and largest number that is equal to here 11. So we denote this smallest number by S and the largest by L. Then range is going to be L minus S, that is 11 minus 1, it becomes 10. So the range is nothing but the largest value minus smallest value. Let us take another example. Suppose you have been given a discrete data where the frequency is given and value of x is given. Let us take that type. Suppose you have been given x as a height and frequency f, that is equal to nothing but the number of students. Number of students. Now let us complete the table part. Suppose height is given in centimeters. It starts from suppose 150. The next is 151. Then 155. 158. 165. Suppose these are the different heights possible for a particular class of student having the frequency as like this. There is only 5 members, 5 लोग हैं जो 150 सेंटीमीटर हाइट के हैं, 6 ऐसे हैं जो 151 वाले हैं, 151 सेंटीमीटर्स, 8 ऐसे हैं जो 155 सेंटीमीटर वाले हैं, 2 ऐसे हैं जो 158 सेंटीमीटर्स के हैं, और एक ऐसा है जो 165 सेंटीमीटर का है. So यहाँ पे हम इसको अगर अरेंज करें ऑर्डर वाइज, so 150 is repeated 5 times, 151 has a frequency 6, that means 151 is repeated 6 times, 155 is repeated 8 times, 158 is repeated 2 times, and 165 is repeated only once. Now we have to see the highest value of x that we call as the largest value. Largest value of x. X is here height. Always remember x will be taken from the first row and the second row is assumed to be the height, assumed to be the frequency, sorry. Now what is the smallest value? The smallest value of x. Here the largest was 165 centimeters. The smallest is smallest is 150. Largest is 165. Now we will find out range. Range, that is largest minus the smallest. It will become 165 minus 150. So it comes as 50. I hope you have understood this question. What to do here? You have to find out which is the lowest value of x and which one is the highest value of x, and then you have to write that as the largest value and the smallest value, and then you do the calculation of how to find the range. The formula is largest minus the smallest. We have largest as 165 and the smallest as 150. So 160 में से 150 को माइनस कर देंगे तो हमारे पास आ जाएगा आंसर 165 minus 150, that is 50. Let us take one more example, that is a group data. Suppose you have been given a class class interval, sorry, in the form of marks and number of students as a frequency. Let us complete the table. Here, marks are from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, then 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and the last class is 40 to 50. Suppose the number of students who have scored marks between 0 to 10 are 2, 10 to 20 are 4, and 20 to 30 is 8, and 30 to 40 is 2, and the last is 1. Now, what do you mean by this? There are 2 students who have got the marks between 0 to 10. There are 4 students who have got marks between 10 to 20. 8 student marks got between 20 to 30. And there are 2 students who have got marks between 30 to 40, and there is only one who is having the marks 40 to 50. That is in between 40 and 50. Now, we need to find out what is the smallest observation, what is the largest possible value. Smallest possible marks, that is going to be 0. And the largest possible marks, that is the largest maximum possible value is 50 here. So range that is going to be highest minus that is largest minus the smallest, L minus S, that is 50 minus 0, that is 50. I hope you have understood how to find out the range for group data. In the group data, the first cell, the lower limit of the first class interval and the upper limit of the last class interval is assumed to be the smallest and largest respectively. The first one is going to be smallest and the last value is going to be the largest value. Now, the marks we have here, that is the range between range is 50. It means it is here from the smallest is 0, maximum is 50. So the difference is going to be the range. अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. हमने यहाँ पे 3 टाइप के सम कर लिया. पहला सम था रॉ डेटा पे, दूसरा हमने डिस्क्रीट डेटा पे किया और तीसरा हमने ये 40 to 50 वाला सारे क्लास इंटरवल वाला किया. एक बार पीछे जाके फिर से देख लेते हैं. यहाँ पे हमने एग्जांपल दिया रॉ डेटा का. That is, numbers are given here, separated by comma. This is the raw data. If we go to the next, here this one was a discrete data. The values of x were given to you. The number of frequencies, that is a number of student, was given to you. Now here you have got the first value as the smallest one, and the last one is in as the largest one, because this is given in ascending order. So suppose sometimes you have been given the order in the jumbled form. That means here, if you look at this, 150, 151, 155, 160, 158, and 165. So it is arranged in ascending order. You may get a data where the data is not arranged in ascending order. In that case, you have to see which one is the smallest one and which one is the largest one. I hope the concept is very clear about the discrete data, how to find out the range for that. The next one is for group data. Here, what we had marks between 0 to 50, the number of students are given in each group. Now, when it comes to the largest possible, the smallest possible mark, that is going to be 0, and the largest possible mark is going to be the last value, that is 50. So the range is going to be L minus S, that is 50 minus 0, that is 50. So this one was the procedure to find out the range. Range is assumed to be, range is the absolute measure of dispersion. And now we will go to the relative measure of dispersion. That is a coefficient of range. Let us go to the next. Relative measure of that is the range. Relative measure, the called as a coefficient of range. It is defined as the coefficient of range, that is L minus S divided by L plus S. Range is independent of change of origin, but not of scale. We will be doing that later on. Let us see how to do the calculation, how to find out the coefficient of range for the given data. As I've told you that there are three types of data in the statistics. One is called as raw data. This is second one is called as a discrete, and third one is called as group. Now, the very important thing, sometimes in the class interval, the upper limit of a class is not the same as the lower limit of the next class. In that case, we say that it is not continuous. We make it continuous, and then we find out the range. Let us have a first raw data type. Here the numbers will be separated by comma. All the numbers will be listed like 2, 3, 5, 7, 4, 8, 6, 5, 7. Suppose these are the number given to you. So what is the smallest value here? The smallest observation is 2, and the largest observation is 2, 3, 5, 7. This 8 is the largest one. Now we have to find out the range. Range. Before that, we will here write coefficient of range. Coefficient of range. What is the formula for that? That is equal to L minus S upon L plus S. So L is how much? 8 minus S, that is 2, divided by 8 plus 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 divided by 10. That comes as 0.6. This is your answer. That is coefficient of range. This one was about the raw data. Let us go to the discrete type data. Now, when it comes to discrete type, let us take the example here. This time, I'm taking the sales and number of days. Suppose sales is 1,000. It is sales of a particular product. Number of products sold, that is like that. 10, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,200. This is the data given, and number of days is 2, 5, 7, and 6. So these are the data given to you, and the question is find coefficient of range. When it comes to finding the coefficient of range, we need to have the smallest value and the largest value. Coefficient of range, that is L minus S upon L plus S. Now, what is the largest value in this observation? Largest value, that is 2200. Then comes the next smallest observation. We can call that as the smallest value, that is 1000. Now, coefficient of range, the formula for that is L minus S upon L plus S. Let us see here that answer. L is 2200 minus 1000 divided by 2200 plus 1000. So it is going to be 1200 divided by 3200. Now this 00 will get cancelled. 6 2s are 12. It is not divisible by 6, so we will divide by first 6. So it is going to be 2 6 are 12 and 2 1 are 2, 2 6 are 12 is 16. It is again divisible by 2. You can simplify that. If you divide by 2, it becomes 3 and it becomes 8. So it is nothing but 2 by 8. If you want, you can write this in the decimal. Just put 0.8 to the 16. So it is going to be 0.8 something. You can keep the answer in the fraction if you want. Otherwise, you can just divide 2 by 8. Whatever comes in the decimal, you can write that also. Now, coming to the next part, that is how to find out the coefficient of range for the group data. Find coefficient of range for the following data. Here you have been given Ci class interval and F as a frequency. Let us see that. Zero to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and 15 to 20. This is the assume that marks of the student in unit test, 20 marks test. So here we have 2, 5, 10, and 3. Assume there were only 20 students present in that class. So F total becomes 20. Now coming to how to find out the range, we need the smallest observation and the largest observation. Smallest value, that is nothing but the first value of the cell, because the data is given in ascending order. Otherwise, you have to see which one is the smallest cell. So that is the smallest class interval. Smallest value is 0. Largest value is the last value here, that is 20. Now, if we have to find out quartile deviation and coefficient of quartile deviation both, then in the short form we write QD quartile deviation. Sorry, we are discussing here the range. So it is a range, that is a 20 minus 0, that comes as 20. Coefficient of range, the formula we will write first, that is L minus S divided by L plus S. Now here we will calculate that coefficient of range, that is equals to 20 minus 0 divided by 20 plus 0. It comes as 20 minus 0 is 20 and 20 plus 0 is again 20. So the coefficient here is going to be, so we have a coefficient that is equal to 1. We can have here 20 divided by 20, that is equal to 1. Here you can complete this one. 20 minus 0 is 20 divided by 20 plus 0, that is 20. It comes as follows. Now we have studied how to find out the range for raw data, discrete data, and group data. The next we did how to find out the coefficient of range, that was for raw data, group data, and discrete data. Let us go back and see all these three again. Now here in this case we had been given the raw data, that is 2, 3, 5, 7, 4, 8, 6, 5, 7. We have calculated, we have just checked by inspection which one is the smallest observation and which one is the largest observation. और हमें coefficient of range निकालना, that is L minus S divided by L plus S. It is a relative measure. Always remember, whenever there is no unit, that means it has been been converted in the form of a ratio. So here L minus S divided by L plus S, so it is 8 minus 2 divided by 8 plus 2, it becomes 6 upon 10, that is 0.6. This was for raw data. Next one is for the discrete data. Here I have taken the sales and the number of days. The minimum sales is 1000, maximum sales is 2200. So coefficient of range, the formula is L minus S divided by L plus S. So we have that as a 2200 minus 1000 divided by 2200 plus 1000. So it comes as 2 upon 8. If you want, you can write it 1 upon 4, that comes as 0.25. If you want, you can simplify this number. 2 by 8 is nothing but 1 by 4, and 1 by 4 in the decimal form is 0.25. So it is up to you whether you want to keep your answer in fraction or you want to keep your answer in the decimal. So we have done how to find out range, how to find out coefficient of range, and in the next class we will learn how to find out the next part, that is a quartile deviation, coefficient of quartile deviation. Then we will go for the mean deviation, and after that the most important one, that is a standard deviation. We will be doing that. So we will meet in the next class now. Till then, enjoy your life, study hard, practice a lot, and try to clear out all your concepts. And if you have any doubt, you can give in the suggestion box, and I will try to answer that. And if you feel that this video is of worth for you, or even it is small worth for you, please like this, share it, and circulate the link in your friend circle. And the most important thing, if you feel this channel is giving you some value to you, then you subscribe it also.